The weight of awareness. Why society rejects deep thinkers. The invisible wall. Have you ever sat in a room full of people, listening to the laughter and the easy small talk, and felt like you were speaking a language no one else understood? It's a strange, quiet kind of loneliness. It's the realization that the deeper you look into the why of existence, the further you seem to drift from the how of daily life. You might feel like an outsider, but history suggests you're in famous company. From the trial of Socrates to the exile of Spinoza, the world has always had a complicated relationship with its most profound minds. We claim to value intelligence, yet we often push away those who actually use it to challenge the status quo. The truth is, society doesn't just ignore deep thinkers, it actively resists them, not because they are wrong, but because they are disruptive. The intellectual shadow. To understand why this happens, we have to look at how we perceive superiority. If you see someone at the gym lifting massive weights, you might feel inspired. If you see someone driving a luxury car, you might feel a pang of envy. But these things are external. They don't touch the core of who you are. But intelligence is different. It's internal. It's the very lens through which we view on ourselves. When you encounter someone who thinks on a significantly deeper level, someone who questions the traditions or beliefs you've built your life upon, it doesn't feel like a lesson. It feels like a threat to your identity. Psychologists often refer to this as a form of ego defense. A deep thinker acts as a mirror, reflecting not just new ideas, but the limitations of the people around them. And most people aren't ready to look at their own reflections that closely. The biological alarm. Our brains are actually hardwired for this rejection. Modern neuroscience shows that when our core beliefs are challenged, the brain's amygdala, the fear center, lights up. To the brain, an intellectual challenge feels remarkably similar to a physical attack. Think back to our ancestors. Survival didn't depend on being the most philosophical member of the tribe. It depended on belonging. If you questioned the tribe's rules or disrupted the social harmony, you were a risk. Being cast out meant certain death. Even today, we carry that tribal software. When a deep thinker enters a group and starts deconstructing common sense, the group doesn't see a visionary. They see a disruptor who is breaking the social contract. We are biologically biased to choose comfort and conformity over truth and transformation. The paradox of the digital age. In the modern world, this problem has only intensified. We live in the era of the soundbite. Social media algorithms are designed to reward certainty, not nuance. They want quick, emotionally charged answers that confirm what we already believe. A deep thinker, by definition, embraces complexity. They use words like perhaps, context, and on the other hand. But in a world that moves at the speed of a scroll, nuance looks like weakness. We have traded the search for truth for the search for engagement. This is why charismatic influencers who provide simple, but often wrong, answers gain millions of followers, while the deep thinkers, the ones asking the difficult, uncomfortable questions, often find themselves shouting into the void. Schopenhauer and the will to truth. Arthur Schopenhauer, perhaps the most unapologetic of the pessimist philosophers, had a grim view of this dynamic. He argued that the average person is driven by the will to live, a blind urge for survival, reproduction, and basic comfort. But for the deep thinker, this will is interrupted by the will to truth. Schopenhauer believed that high intelligence is essentially a monstrosity of the nervous system. While most people see just enough to navigate their daily chores, the deep thinker sees the underlying machinery of the world. They see the vanity in status games and the emptiness in repetitive pleasures because they see through the illusions that make most people happy. They are often branded as cynical or difficult. But from Schopenhauer's perspective, they aren't cynical. They are simply awake. And as the saying goes, In the land of the sleepers, the man who is awake is a nuisance. The solitary path. So where does that leave you? If you feel that weight of awareness, understand that your isolation isn't a bug in your personality. It's a feature of your perspective. The path of deep thinking isn't easy. It requires you to sacrifice the comfort of fitting in for the clarity of seeing through. It's a trade-off. You might lose the easy connection of the crowd, but you gain a profound connection with the truth.